Nissan 370Z. The Nissan 370Z is one of those cars that instantly evokes emotion, a machine that bridges the gap between the golden era of Japanese sports cars and the demands of modern performance. For enthusiasts, the Z badge is far more than just a letter on the trunk of a car. It is a statement, a promise, and a legacy that stretches back more than half a century. The 370Z sits in a lineage that began with the legendary 240Z, a car that changed the sports car landscape by offering thrilling performance, timeless design, and affordability. The 370Z, introduced in 2009 as the successor to the 350Z, carried the torch with pride, combining raw driving enjoyment with modern engineering. It became a symbol of Nissan's commitment to the sports car even when the market shifted heavily toward SUVs, crossovers, and more practical machines. When you look at the 370Z, the first thing that grabs your attention is its design. It has a short, muscular stance, a long hood, and a cabin that sits low and rearward, emphasizing the traditional front-engine, rear-wheel drive layout. The sharp headlights with their distinctive boomerang shape, the flared fenders, and the aggressive lines give it a purposeful look. It isn't about unnecessary flash or gimmicks, instead, it projects a timeless sense of aggression. From the back, the wide hips, dual exhausts, and compact proportions remind you that this car was engineered with performance at its core. Over the years, the design has aged gracefully, still looking modern while retaining the iconic Z silhouette that harks back to its heritage. Step inside the 370Z, and you'll find a cockpit built for the driver. Nissan made sure to craft an interior that balances simplicity with functionality. The seating position is low, giving you the feeling of being connected to the machine, and the gauges are angled toward the driver in true sports car fashion. One of the signature touches is the trio of auxiliary dials on the dashboard, a nod to classic Z models and a detail that immediately appeals to enthusiasts. The cabin isn't overly luxurious, nor was it meant to be. This is a driver's car, and the focus is on making the driving experience as immersive as possible. Materials are durable, controls are straightforward, and the steering wheel feels perfectly sized for spirited driving. The heart of the 370Z lies under its sculpted hood. Powering this machine is a 3.7-liter V6 engine, part of Nissan's acclaimed VQ series. With around 332 horsepower in standard form and up to 350 horsepower in the Nismo variant, the engine delivers a thrilling surge of performance. It's naturally aspirated, which means you get a linear, responsive power band without the delay of turbochargers. The VQ37 VHR engine is renowned for its durability, smoothness, and willingness to rev. Paired with either a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 7-speed automatic, the car offers driving experiences tailored to different enthusiasts. The manual, in particular, features Nissan's Synchro Rev Match technology, which automatically blips the throttle during downshifts to deliver perfectly smooth gear changes. This not only enhances performance but also makes the driver feel like a professional racer every time they row through the gears. The 370Z's handling is sharp and precise, thanks to its rear-wheel drive layout, short wheelbase, and well-tuned suspension. It feels planted in corners, with quick steering that provides excellent feedback. Whether you're on a mountain road, a racetrack, or just carving through city streets, the car responds eagerly to inputs, reminding you of why enthusiasts love pure sports cars. The suspension strikes a balance between comfort and performance, although in its sportier trims like the Nismo, it leans toward the firmer side to maximize handling. Speaking of the Nismo version, it represented the pinnacle of the 370Z lineup. With enhanced aerodynamics, more aggressive styling, stiffer suspension, and a bump in power, the 370Z Nismo was aimed at hardcore enthusiasts who wanted a track-ready car straight from the factory. The Nismo not only looked the part with its unique bumpers, larger wheels, and subtle spoilers but also delivered a sharper driving experience that separated it from the standard model. Over the years, the 370Z has earned a reputation not just as a performance car but also as a symbol of value. It brought sports car thrills at a price that undercut many competitors like the Porsche Cayman, BMW Z4, or Audi TT, while still offering a reliable and durable package. Its running costs were reasonable, its reliability proven, and its tuning potential endless. The aftermarket embraced the 370Z just like it did with its predecessors, with countless options for exhaust systems, intakes, suspension upgrades, turbo kits, and styling modifications. This made the 370Z a blank canvas for enthusiasts to create their dream builds, whether focused on track performance, drifting, or just street style. The Z car family has always been closely tied to motorsport, and the 370Z carried that tradition proudly. It was used in various racing series around the world, from grassroots drifting competitions to professional racing leagues. Its balance of power, weight, and handling made it a popular choice among drivers who wanted a capable platform to hone their skills. In the drifting scene especially, the 370Z became a favorite thanks to its rear-wheel drive layout, strong aftermarket support, and ability to handle modifications well. Nissan's Z cars have always had a strong emotional connection with fans, and the 370Z strengthened that bond. For many enthusiasts, it became the attainable dream car, one that delivered genuine thrills without breaking the bank. Unlike many modern cars loaded with electronic aids and driver assists, the 370Z remained raw and mechanical in nature. That rawness is what appealed most to drivers who wanted to feel every aspect of the road, the car, and their own inputs working together. There's a sense of honesty about the 370Z. It doesn't try to be something it isn't. It's not a luxury cruiser, it's not a hybrid, and it's not trying to compete with hypercars. Instead, it focuses on being a pure sports car that delivers fun, excitement, and a visceral driving experience. The roar of the V6, the feel of the gearshift, the connection through the steering wheel, and the feedback through the chassis all come together to remind you why people fall in love with driving in the first place. Of course, no car is perfect, and the 370Z had its criticisms. Some said the interior felt outdated compared to rivals, others noted that the car hadn't changed much over its long production run. Technology features like infotainment and driver aids were minimal compared to competitors. But for purists, those criticisms often turned into strengths, because the lack of distraction meant more focus on driving. The car's simplicity was part of its charm. Even as the automotive industry shifted toward turbocharged engines, electrification, and advanced driver assistance systems, the 370Z stood its ground as a traditional sports car. It appealed to those who wanted something old school yet still relevant. Its long production run, from 2009 to 2020, is a testament to its appeal and the loyalty of its fan base. Over time, the 370Z has begun to take on the status of a modern classic. It represents the end of an era, a time when naturally aspirated engines, manual gearboxes, and rear-wheel drive sports cars were still widely available. Now, with the arrival of its successor, the Nissan Z, powered by a twin-turbocharged V6, enthusiasts look back on the 370Z with even more appreciation. It kept the Z flame alive during a critical period and reminded the world that Nissan still cared about its performance heritage. Beyond the technical aspects, the 370Z carries with it the cultural impact of the Z car legacy. For decades, Z cars have appeared in movies, video games, and popular culture, and the 370Z continued that tradition. Whether drifting across screens in video games like Need for Speed or being showcased in car culture communities worldwide, it cemented itself as a recognizable and respected machine. Owners often speak of the 370Z with passion, describing not just the way it drives but also the way it makes them feel. That emotional bond is what makes it special, turning it from just a car into a lifestyle. There's also the fact that the 370Z is accessible to both newcomers and seasoned enthusiasts. For someone buying their first sports car, it offers manageable performance, affordability, and reliability. For veterans, it provides a solid platform to modify and push the limits. It's this versatility that broadened its appeal and ensured its place in the hearts of many. Over its lifetime, the 370Z was offered in various trims and special editions, each adding a unique twist to the formula. From base models to touring editions with more comfort, to track-focused Nismo versions, there was a 370Z for different tastes and needs. Limited editions often celebrated milestones in the Z family, reminding buyers of the heritage behind the badge. The attention to detail in these editions made them collectible, appealing to enthusiasts who wanted something rare. Driving the 370Z is a sensory experience. The engine note fills the cabin, the short-throw gearshift clicks into place with precision, and the chassis communicates every bump, every curve, every load transfer. It's not just about speed or lap times, it's about the joy of driving itself. That joy is something fewer modern cars deliver as they become more insulated, more digital, and more automated. The 370Z strips away those barriers and reconnects the driver with the road. Looking back, the 370Z's significance extends beyond just being a sports car. It was a statement by Nissan, proving that even in an era dominated by practicality and efficiency, passion still had a place. It embodied the belief that cars could be more than transportation, they could be an extension of one's personality, a way to express freedom, individuality, and love for motion. Today, as the automotive world heads deeper into electrification, the 370Z stands as a reminder of the visceral, analog thrills of the internal combustion era. It's a car that future generations will look back on and admire, not just for its performance but for what it represented. It bridged the gap between past and future, carrying the torch of the Z family through uncertain times and delivering smiles along the way. For anyone who has driven one, owned one, or even just admired one, the 370Z is not just another car. It is a piece of history, a chapter in the story of Japanese performance cars, and a lasting symbol of Nissan's dedication to driving excitement. The 370Z is often described as a driver's car, but that phrase does not fully capture the depth of the experience it provides. When you take the wheel, you are not simply controlling a machine, you are entering into a relationship with it. The steering communicates what the front tires are doing, the suspension tells you what the road surface feels like, and the engine responds immediately to your inputs with a visceral growl. It is this dialogue between driver and car that makes the 370Z special. Unlike many modern vehicles where computers filter and adjust everything, the 370Z puts you at the center of the action. You are the one in charge, and every decision you make is translated directly into motion. That honesty is what keeps people coming back to cars like this, even when faster and more technologically advanced alternatives exist. When you look at the proportions of the 370Z, you notice how every line serves a purpose. The long hood is not just for aesthetics, it accommodates the V6 engine while emphasizing the car's rearward cabin placement for balance. The short overhangs reduce weight beyond the wheels and contribute to agility. The wide track gives the car stability while also projecting a muscular stance. The boomerang-shaped headlights and taillights became signature design cues that made the car instantly recognizable, both day and night. Small touches, like the flush-mounted door handles or the pronounced rear haunches, add character without clutter. Nissan achieved something remarkable with this design. It looks aggressive and modern, but it also looks timeless, the kind of design that years later still feels fresh. That is a rare achievement in the automotive world. Inside the cabin, while some critics complained of simplicity, many enthusiasts praised it for being driver-focused. You do not get lost in a sea of touchscreens or endless menus. Instead, you have clear gauges, tactile buttons, and an interior that prioritizes function over flash. The iconic 3 auxiliary gauges on the dash are a direct link to the original Z cars, reminding drivers of the lineage they are part of. The seats provide strong bolstering, holding you in place during spirited driving, while still being comfortable enough for long journeys. The steering wheel is perfectly sized, the pedals are well placed for heel-toe driving, and the shifter has a satisfying weight to it. Every detail feels crafted with the driver in mind, ensuring that nothing gets in the way of the experience. The exhaust note of the 370Z deserves its own recognition. Sound is an essential part of the driving experience, and the VQ37VHR delivers a soundtrack that excites the senses. At idle, there is a deep burble, hinting at the power beneath the surface. Press the throttle, and the growl builds into a howl as the revs climb, filling the cabin with mechanical music. Unlike many modern cars where artificial sound is pumped through the speakers, the 370Z gives you the real thing. Every intake gulp, every exhaust crackle, every vibration is authentic. For drivers who love the symphony of an internal combustion engine, this sound is addictive. It encourages you to rev higher, to explore the limits of the tachometer, and to immerse yourself in the moment. On the open road, the 370Z shines as a grand tourer as much as a sports car. It has the ability to cruise comfortably at highway speeds, soaking up miles with ease. The V6 provides effortless acceleration for overtaking, while the chassis remains composed and confident. Long-distance drives become adventures, with the car providing both comfort and excitement. This dual personality, capable of being both a daily driver and a weekend warrior, is what made the 370Z appealing to such a broad audience. You could take it to work during the week and to the track on the weekend, all without compromise. For those who sought the ultimate expression of this car, the aftermarket delivered endless possibilities. Drifters embraced the 370Z for its balance and power, often modifying it with angle kits, COI levers, and lightweight wheels to make it a formidable machine on the track. Tuners pushed the VQ engine to incredible power figures, with turbo and supercharger kits transforming the car into a high-horsepower beast capable of competing with far more exotic machinery. Others focused on aesthetics, creating show cars with wide-body kits, custom wraps, and detailed interiors that turned the 370Z into rolling art. The sheer versatility of the platform ensured that no two cars were alike, each reflecting the vision and creativity of its owner. The emotional connection that owners feel toward their 370Z cannot be overstated. For many, it represents freedom, the freedom to explore, to escape, to express oneself. Driving becomes more than just transportation, it becomes therapy, joy, and passion. The car has the ability to turn a bad day into a good one simply by offering an open stretch of road and the sound of the engine. This is the kind of bond that cannot be measured in statistics or specifications. It is about the way the car makes you feel, the memories it helps you create, and the identity it helps you express. Owners often describe their 370Z as an extension of themselves, a partner in their journey rather than just a possession. The long production run of the 370Z, lasting more than a decade, speaks to its enduring appeal. Few sports cars remain unchanged for so long while still maintaining strong sales and loyalty. The fact that Nissan kept it in production until 2020 is a testament to the car's popularity and relevance. It became a bridge between eras, carrying the Z legacy through a time when the sports car segment was shrinking and many competitors were abandoning it altogether. Without the 370Z, the Z lineage might have faded into history, but instead, it stayed alive, waiting for the next chapter. The successor, simply called the Nissan Z, brought turbocharged power and modern updates, but it also leaned heavily on the foundation laid by the 370Z. In many ways, the new Z exists because the 370Z kept the flame burning. For this reason, the 370Z holds a special place in the history of Nissan and in the hearts of enthusiasts. It was the guardian of the Z legacy during a challenging time, and it did so with pride. Future generations will look back on it not just as a great car, but as a symbol of resilience, passion, and authenticity in an era where those qualities were becoming rare. Even today, used 370Zs are highly sought after, offering one of the best values in the sports car market. Their durability, performance, and timeless appeal make them attractive to both first-time buyers and seasoned enthusiasts. Unlike many cars that depreciate into obscurity, the 370Z is already being recognized as a modern classic, with clean examples becoming more desirable every year. Collectors and enthusiasts know that this car represents the last of a breed, and its value goes beyond money. It is cultural and emotional value, something that grows stronger with time. When we talk about the Z cars, we talk about more than machines. We talk about stories, memories, and dreams. The 370Z carries all of that, and for many people, it was the car that made those dreams real. It reminded the world that driving could still be about passion, not just practicality. It proved that even in the face of industry trends, there was still room for cars built purely for the joy of the journey. And it stands today as one of the last true analog sports cars of its era, a car that will be remembered and celebrated for decades to come. Thanks for watching.